So let's talk the origami balloon activity. Now, I'm not giving you a whole lot of information, and that is intentional on my part. I want you to kind of play and explore on your own, and then as the next thing we'll do a lecture and go a little bit more in depth to the history of manufacturing and what all this course is about. But first, we're going to play a little bit and get your head thinking like someone who is tasked with mass producing a product. I want you to make as many origami balloons in 10 minutes that you can. And there are different ways that this task can be accomplished. There's different ways we can do the order of operations and divide it up. So it's not something I can completely say just go do because I want to talk about the process flow chart. And if I show that, we need to know a little bit more about this. So let's use an example. All right, because I want you to fill this out, and that's what you're going to be submitting. Let's use an example of I have asked you to make a paper airplane. What is going to be the first thing that is required? What is the first step? Thing is an empty word. What's the first step in making a paper airplane? All right. In the case of mine, I need to go get some paper. So I got, a whole stack of paper. So we're going to go over to our process flow diagram. All right. And we are going to say, okay, task number 1. Where's my mouse? There it is. Task number 1, pull paper out of storage. Okay, so that's the task number 1. And then we need to figure out, okay, what are we doing? Okay, and so the processes, we have little symbols to indicate what exactly we are doing to this item. The first one is operation. You are physically changing, you are physically doing something to the object. Transportation, we are moving the object from one place to another. Inspection, we are looking at it and seeing if it has defects. All right. We won't use this too much in our delay and storage. We won't use too much until we get further into the class. Maybe storage you'll use, but delay, say I have an injection molding machine and it takes 30 seconds to produce a part. I load, I take one out, and now it's got to close, inject the plastic, let it cool, and then pop it, open up the mold, and pop it back out, and that takes 30 seconds. So we can have a delay while the machine is cycling, and then storage is, after it's done in the machine, it falls out of the machine and lands in a bin. Okay, so pulling paper out of storage. Quite obviously transportation. We are just simply moving it. We're not doing anything. And what I've done is I've made this so you can just go in there on your template and delete it and just leave the arrow. Okay, so I've tried to make it as simple as possible for you. All right, what's the second step? So if we come over here to our piece of paper, what's going to be the second step? All right, so if I'm making a paper airplane, second step is usually doing a hot dog fold. To get it creased down the center. So we can say hot dog fold. I'll show you where I'm typing. Hot dog fold. And we physically changed this. It was a flat piece of paper. Now it's a folded piece of paper. So that is an operation. And to be fair, to be frank, most processes you're going to do should be operations. We want to add value to the product, right? We want to do operations that change it. All right, after we do that, it may be that we go, you know what, if this step is screwed up, then nothing else works. So if it's crooked, so maybe we need to do an inspection where I go, okay, I got that pretty good, because you notice how carefully I did that. So let's go ahead and put an inspection in for check for square. Okay, and then the next thing, we're going to fold the point. We're going to fold the point. Come back to our can't type. Fold the point. And sometimes you have to come up with, your own names for things. We can say next step is to fold the delta because it kind of makes a triangle shape. And those are all operations, so I can delete that. Operation. And maybe at this point, you decide, okay, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to pass this on to my mom, and she is going to finish the plane the rest of the way. All right, so what we'll have is, all right, this is all operator number 1. And then I'm passing this off to mom. She is now operator number 2, and she is going to hot dog fold again. And so she's going to hot dog fold again. Which again is an operation. And then she's going to make the wings. So she'll come in, boom, boom, and so that's again an operation. And then you would probably end with, some sort of inspection, or the fact that with my hand, I just folded that out so the wings are flat. So maybe that's another operation. So you can be as detailed as you think you need to be to make it perfect. Okay. I would probably always end on an inspection. So that is square. Because, right, we need to know, the airplane that I just made is not symmetrical. Is that a problem? Does my customer care? Right? So we would have, if I go back to here, as the manufacturing engineer, we would have some sort of criteria that says, yes, this meets spec, or it does not. Okay, but we're not going to be into that now. Okay. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I have a video for you that kind of shows someone walking through the steps for this paper airplane, because there are honestly many different ways to make paper airplanes that you could take, and then depending on the amount of workforce you have, how many operators, you may divide this up in a different way. Or you may, when we have this, when we said, okay, here's the point where I pass it from myself to mom, we may realize that, when I time this out, it takes me about 30 seconds to do these steps, and it takes her 15 seconds to do these. So maybe this really should be a 2. All right, so we level the load, so there's not waiting, because waiting is a waste. All right, so read through this, try your best to see how you do, and then we'll talk about it. So this is supposed to be a fun activity. Don't freak out. Have fun with it, but get your head wrapped around how many can I make. And there's a question for you to answer, so you can brag with your friends. How many did you make? All right, thanks, guys.